pretty cute earlier today, but then I decided to go for a run. So what you see is what you get for today. And today I wanted to talk about something just like really, really random, but I wanted to get this out, okay? And I just want to talk about it. So today's subject is fan art. Fan art is illegal. I guess I kind of knew that. I definitely knew it was sort of an iffy sort of territory, I guess. But the whole reason why I started looking into this is because I made some magnets. I made some Jason mask magnets out of polymer clay. These are hand painted. I made a few of them and I thought like I could sell these kinds of things and these could be a source of income. And then I was thinking like I could do Ghostface, I could do Jack Skellington, like I could do Sam from Trick or Treat. I was just thinking of all these little like horror miniature magnets and maybe even earrings and stuff that I could make, and I was like that would be so cool. And you may know that I do have an interest in miniatures and dioramas and all that kind of stuff, and I've always like had the intention of making video game inspired dioramas and miniatures, stuff like from Final Fantasy or from Skyrim. I just wanted to like appease the fangirl in me by bringing this physicality to and this like sense of ownership. Not that doesn't make sense, but this sense of having this thing with you in the physical world, I guess. I wanted to not only look at these things on a screen, but I wanted to be able to hold them in my hand. And I wanted to play a hand in that creation process, I guess. I've always been really attracted to the objects and the places that we see in these fictional worlds, in these games and anime and movies and all that. And I had plans of bringing those places to life in my own hands. But basically, with these magnets, I was thinking, okay, well, I'm going to sell them. I could sell them on Depop, or I could even like one day open an Etsy shop. And I could just put Friday the 13th inspired mask on here and no harm, no foul. But I just decided to like briefly Google just to make sure that there wasn't anything I needed to know in particular, and it led me down a rabbit hole. It's a big, confusing, complicated rabbit hole, but if we're gonna be real, selling this is illegal. Fan art is illegal because I would be making money off of this design, this character that somebody else created. This is someone else's intellectual property, and I can't benefit off of it. Well, what do I mean by can't? Apparently, everybody does it. You know, if you get on Etsy or anywhere, like, everybody does this. So is it really illegal? It looks like people do it with no consequence. Successfully, a lot, but you do run the risk of being noticed by the owner of the intellectual property, getting a cease and desist letter, or even further action. So it's really like a question of you can play till you get in trouble. Like you can do this till you get in trouble, or you can just choose to not do it at all because it's illegal. And it seems like most people are just like writing that till they are told to stop. Not that I'm not trying to pass judgment or anything. And then some people never get told to stop. And I watched a few videos on this subject, and it looks like these larger owners, like Disney or Harry Potter or whoever, they won't go for you if you are making small batches of handmade things. But if you're mass producing, like if you are mass printing a t-shirt or something and selling it, they're probably going to notice you and come for you. So then it's like, okay, well, if I made 5 of these and I want to sell them, they're probably not going to come for me. So I could do it with no consequence. But now the question is, like, do I want to do that? Is that right? Especially knowing from the beginning that it's unethical, you could say. It's just like really disappointing because it made me realize that almost all of my plans were fan art. And all the, I don't know, even like the makeup looks that I do are inspired by a look someone else has already created. And then the songs I'm playing on guitar, like, they're all covers. And I started just looking into covers. Like, and that's not really as simple as, like, if you're going to put out a cover song, you can't just say, oh, this is a cover. There's, like, a legal process to it. And and it makes sense. And it's kind of remind me how important intellectual property is and that these people, like, deserve to have their rights to that property. And then tattoos. Tattoos is a question I have not found the answer to yet, but I decided not to go down that rabbit hole. But how come you can't get a tattoo of someone else's intellectual property? There seems to not be a consequence there yet. Oh yeah, another thing that I forgot to say is how come so many cons can set something like only 30% of their vendors' goods can be fan art or something like that. If fan art is illegal, how can you say some of it is allowed for sale? I'm confused about that. And I just want to know, how illegal is this? Is it like, don't do it illegal, or is it like, better avoid it illegal? Like, anyway, so it's just really disappointing, but also, there are so many people that I've been following for a long time, like prop makers, cosplayers, miniature artists, people who do stuff like these magnets. And I've just been following them for a long time, and I really respect them, and I look up to them, and I want to be like them. And then I'm like, well, how come they're not getting in trouble? And I know you can get like a license to create these works, and maybe some of these people have, but it's just like a real bummer. And now I don't know what to do. My mom is an artist, and she's always been a huge stickler about this. She paints, so and she's in like art clubs or whatever. So if somebody uses a reference picture like from Google, like to paint an elephant, so that if they Google elephant and then recreate by painting a picture of an elephant that they found on Google, like, that's wrong. And my mom hates it. My mom has hired lawyers to come talk to her art club about this because everybody does it. And meanwhile, my mom takes her camera and goes to the zoo and will take her own photograph of an elephant and then use that as her reference to make her painting. And not saying like you can't use a reference photo, but they would like recreate that photo. Like, obviously. Not like looking at a photo just to make sure what an elephant looks like. No, they were like just replicating that elephant photo. And that's like her big issue in the art world. But of course, she would die if I told her I was making fan art. But yeah, I don't think I'm going to stop making fan art for myself and for practice. Like, making these Jason masks has been good practice because it's been like repetitive and helping me like get better and better with each one. Here's another look at him. And I guess I can still give these kinds of things as gifts. But there's just something that was so appealing about it, about being able, and I think this is what a lot of people feel the pull towards, is creating something to give you that feeling that movie or that show or that game gives you, helping to give you that feeling by making a product that the owner of the intellectual property doesn't make necessarily. Like, whoever owns Jason Friday the 13th isn't going to make dioramas and sell them to the public. But how do these people do this? I'm thinking of so many more people that create miniatures and sell them based on scary movies and stuff. Like, I don't know. I'm really confused about all this, and I guess that's part of why I wanted to come make this video, which I know seems very random. And just, I want to continue this conversation. The rabbit hole and the legalities and everything, it's just so much. And I don't know where to go from here. I honestly thought that my own creativity would be a possible source of income, however small, eventually. I always felt like that's an option. But now that I'm really trying to explore that option, like, I don't know if it is. I'm about to get a second job, actually, I think. So that sucks. So I'm going to try to turn my focus towards creating more original content. Maybe some video collage. I write every day, so maybe some poems or lyrics, watercolor, painting, just more like starting out with simple stuff. And yeah, I'm gonna try to blaze a trail of more original content, because I don't know, once I started to realize this like intellectual property thing, and it's really depressing, and I understand why it's depressing, because for somebody who's really into fantasy, no one cares about their wizard. No one cares about their wizard. They want Merlin or something, you know? Like, you can't create a character that makes people feel some type of way. But you can make a replica of a character they know and love, and that'll make them feel some type of way. So, it's tough. It's tough. Please, if you have had experiences in this, or if you have opinions on or thoughts on this, I would really like to talk about it, because it's kind of driving me crazy. Okay, and I'm going to stop rambling now. So that is all for today. I've got several video ideas planned. So soon, more videos are coming. Bye. I mean, what about this? I didn't make this. I bought it on Etsy. But is this actually illegal? Like, help me.